My grandfather, William G. Farrington, was a very hardworking success. Born in 1901 in Oklahoma and came to Houston as a young man. His first successes were as a home builder. He was able to do some commercial building. He built some shopping centers.
And if you look around Houston, some of the most iconic architecture in the city was put there by my grandfather.
His most well-known accomplishment was the neighborhood of Tanglewood, and it's the name brand that we still use today, Tanglewood Corporation, and it was really the start of a local legacy that we're proud to continue on.
My mom and dad and my grandmother, and they took over and continued things along, so the same sort of spirit that he had started passed down to generations.
I remember growing up asking my dad and my grandfather, what do y'all do? And they would just point at the neighborhood. They'd point at the shopping centers we developed. It was something tangible. And I just remember being so proud of Tanglewood.
It is amazing to me that he went out and stood in a rice field and said, there's going to be a neighborhood here, a beautiful neighborhood. It took a lot of guts to do that.
I think it took some real commitment to the concept and faith in the area and the fact that Houston was going to continue to go west and grow and expand. And he just had the insight to believe in it. And a lot of people thought he was crazy, but it worked out. Granddad was buying farmland by the acre and selling it by the lot. You can see the lack of trees. And so the innovations of the neighborhood at the time were the nicer houses, the lots that were higher up, the streets with curves rather than a block development scheme, and the trees that they added to the boulevard and the curved streets.
It's really kind of stunning to see photographs of the area before and after, because it just is a total transformation. The trees, the roads, all the planning that went into that, it just turned out so beautifully.
Mr. Farrington had a vision for Tanglewood, and that was to evoke an emotion, and to this day it still does. So now we have this legacy project, 1661 Tanglewood, and it offers another way to live in Tanglewood, another way to have emotion evoked.
Right now we're doing a lot of the important work on the current project, and it's the latest landmark in the continuing story of Tanglewood. It's so fun to turn this to, the tower. It's just, and it's going to be a happy, sad day when we leave this arena, because we have been here for 70 years and so much has been planned and contemplated and executed from this building, and it'll be fun to move it up 34 floors and keep parts of it, but it'll be hard to lose other parts of it as well. We've got Granddad's neighborhood, which is really in its second cycle. All of the ranch houses of the initial development have given way to two-story, much more dense mansion-type buildings. Here's our project right here on the cornerstone of the neighborhood, blending in with all the residential wave that's coming into the Uptown activity, tying in with all the energy up and down Post Oak. And it's really fun to be right here in this fabulous location and add to it.
As Houston urbanizes, so will Tanglewood. We have to look forward for the next 50 years.
We're really looking to hold a standard that will make this a preeminent project and the best one to be in. We're creating mansions in the sky. This is a lateral, vertical move for our future residents.
It's for people who want to live in a high-rise that do not want to downsize. You can't do that anywhere else in Houston, but you can do it here.
One of the hallmarks of building fine real estate projects is building for longevity. It starts with a project team of the highest caliber.
I have a 40-year relationship with the family. So when this opportunity came up, I said, absolutely. We typically don't do condominiums, but we've always said if everything were blue chip, starting with the owner and the site and the contractor, we would do it, and that's the case here.
Guy Jackson and has done just great projects all over the city. nearby downtown, a high-rise residential office, just some great projects. And so there's a feeling of kind of getting the band back together, working on this current project.
The familial relationships that we have with other companies in the city, like the construction companies and the architects, you know, we've known them for generations, and we're friends.
We have J. Randall Powers, who is driving our design aesthetic. He is brilliant.
No is really not in our vocabulary in this project. It is, what can we do to make this what you want and what you would expect? To me, space has always been the greatest luxury. And so, you know, looking at the sheer scale of these residences, where you were talking about getting something that on a normal size is 5,500 square feet. You know, in the actual residences themselves, you know, we have 9-inch wide floors. I mean, that's just unheard of. All of our lighting that we have specified is basically museum quality lighting. We are really going to help create this environment that a potential buyer or homeowner will never tire of. It really is putting a mark on something that will have permanence. And in a city like Houston that changes constantly and things are not really considered sacred, I think this building will be considered sacred.
And the idea of permanence is really an interesting one, because I get asked all the time, well, how long will this building last? And the answer is, if it's properly designed, which this will be, if it's properly built, and most importantly, if it's properly maintained, it will last forever.
1661 Tanglewood will be a landmark 50 years from now, as it will be the day we open it. It'll be a permanent addition to this fabric of the Houston culture and society. To do less than that would be a shame.
This neighborhood is just deeply connected with my family, and we truly care so much about the people in it. It means we really believe in the quality of product that we're producing here.
That's where visions like this one come from. So I think the thing that we're really excited about is we're going to take the next step and just watch it all come together.
With Kendall Miller, his family, with my family, the Tellepsons, let me tell you, there's an obligation to be stewards of this neighborhood. Who better to build and develop in this neighborhood than the family that started all this?
This is really creating history in our city. The building is going to make such a historic impact on the skyline of the Uptown Tanglewood neighborhood. It will be iconic forever.
This is bold, as is Houston, and so it fits. And myself and my siblings and the next generation are very grateful that we have the opportunity to be that next bold move in Houston, Texas.